Hey! Hey! It's nice to have you over again. It's been like weeks since the last time we've hung out, so I've been looking forward to this. Hmm? Oh, this, right. So, this is for you actually. Um, I know you like wearing Millie's old collar, but I think she buried it. Because I can't find it anywhere. So, um, I ran to the pet store and I found the softest collar I could, and it was still a bit scratchy, so I broke it in for you. Here, may I? Here you are. It's even nice and warm for you. I can just. There we go. Perfect. Hmm? What's that? Am I blushing? I don't think I'm blushing. I mean, what's embarrassing about putting a collar on my friend who's, just also happens to be a dog sometimes? I don't see anything embarrassing about that. Though, if it's a competition, you should look yourself in the mirror because I think you've won as far as blushing goes. Like, useless random side tangent here. I honestly don't like. I get like wearing a dog collar may seem kind of weird, but like, so? Like, and it's odd. It's like we're not in ancient Rome. This isn't like some massive like honor thing or something. It's look at you, look how far you've fallen to be treated like a dog. Like this isn't. We've moved so far beyond that. It's like you know, it's like such a harmless, uh, non-problematic thing to like have a problem with. Like, who just gets mad at a dog for just being a dog? uh, but yeah, just I don't know. Maybe this is me just trying to justify the fact that I may or may not have barked at work today. Uh, yeah. Uh, oh, I was so funny enough. I was actually putting a laptop together, and the sound of the clips snapping, or just yeah, just felt the need to bark. So I did. And honestly, I don't think anyone even noticed or cared. I'm look, I know how to use Microsoft Excel better than anyone else on my team. So, unless someone's going to get upset because a dog is better at Excel than them, I think we're good. Which, I mean, I'm not, well, uh, a dog with a social security number and door badge, but a dog nonetheless. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Um, hey, yeah, be comfy. And I'll just mind if I just ramble about work? Well, I notice you seem to like it when I do that, and I just pet you. So, yeah. Plus, I've got quite the story. Um, the story, so, yeah. Basically, I think I experienced one of the cruelest examples of Murphy's Law, ever today, but I can't be mad about it because of just how hilariously absurd the entire situation was. Okay, so, like, here's the story. So I get a help desk ticket from a user at one of the larger companies we support, right? I'm covering phones for their call center for them. So they call me, and they're having an issue, or they don't call me. They submit a ticket through a ticketing system, but uh, they submit a ticket saying they're having issues with Microsoft Teams calls dropping, which fairly standard issue. So now our ticketing system doesn't always show the name of the person who created the ticket. Sometimes it only shows their email, and that's what happened on this ticket, which is, no big deal. I can look them up in our directory. So I look at the email, and I'll use a pseudonym here for privacy's sake. And I see, let's say, Shelby K at branchoffice.com. Now, the company that this user works for generally uses a first initial last name pattern for their emails, so I knew that this one was kind of an exception. And there are a bunch of offices that this client has, and some of the branch offices used to be their own companies, so they have their own email address schemas. So, weird corporate nonsense. um, oh my gosh, you run into so many like grandfathered legacy systems in IT, or like things that were never meant to be permanent solutions. It's yeah. But okay, so I can only see the person's email address. Not a big deal. I look up Shelby K in our directory, and I see the only result that came up is Shelby Keller. So great, that is the Shelby K that I'm working with. So I found my user, and since her Teams calls are dropping, she sent me her cell phone number in the ticket so that I can call her that way. Um, so I call her, confirm it's a good time for me to work on the issue, and I click the link in our software to remote into her computer. And um, so I click the button, I remote into her computer, and I start working. I'm asking a few questions. I ran a continuous ping to see packet drops, and then I suggested to her, hey, just for testing purposes, I'm gonna mute on this call you up on Teams, and let's talk there for a second so we can see if the network drops, because part of troubleshooting is recreate the issue. Okay, so I call her on Teams, um, and I watch the call pop up on her screen because I'm remoted into her computer. I wait for her to answer it because I never answer calls on other people's computers. Um, because, what's that? So, yeah, I never answer calls on other people's computers, even if, like, we were just on a Teams call, but we got briefly disconnected and we're reconnecting. I still don't hit the answer button myself because I just feel like I'm not super comfortable doing that just because, like, that's remotely activating someone's microphone. And, even if it's a person we were already in a conversation with, I don't want to do something that turns that person's microphone on remotely. I want them to be doing that just because, like, it's like a privacy thing. Even if it is probably not an issue, I kind of try to stick to it religiously as a personal policy, but I digress. So I noticed when we switched to the Teams call, right? She sounds a tiny bit annoyed, which is odd because she was super nice over the phone just a moment ago. But the call quality is pretty bad, so I just chalked it up to that. Um, I continued talking to her about her internet provider, what kind of internet she had, and she told me she had DSL. DSL is like internet over phone lines. That's ancient, awful technology, so that tracks with calls dropping. And she tells me that the network usually struggles when it's raining, which is, yeah, that happens. especially on DSL, and some crappy satellite plans. But as we're talking, right, I see packets start to drop on command prompt, where I had the ping going, and the call starts breaking up, and eventually my remote session drops even. So I hang up on the Teams call and call the user back over their phone, or I, unmute on the phone call. Um, After the remote connection software reconnected, I try some basic network troubleshooting steps, even though it's probably, I'll be honest, at this point, it's probably an issue with their service provider, considering they already told me they had DSL, but excuse me, I'm yawning. But I try to do some network troubleshooting just because people don't like hearing that their internet plan sucks, which is fair. Um, and also, one thing we run into a lot is, and in this case, the customer is insisting that their ISP couldn't be the cause of the issue because only her work computer is having the issue. Um, and this is a remote user, so they have like a personal device and stuff like that. So, okay, I'm running through troubleshooting steps. I explained to her that, you know, VoIP calls or calls over the internet require a stable and consistent network connection that's like, it requires a better connection than like, or a more stable connection than, say, web browsing or streaming, because, if you drop a packet in a call, you start breaking up because it's a real-time communication, and I'm talking in IT terms. So anyway, I explained that to her. She seems somewhat understanding, which is good. Some customers, just don't buy it or think I'm just giving them a hard time trying to get out of work, which is, not the case. Uh, you know, a lot of the times it is just your ISP, uh, especially if you have DSL and it's bad when it rains. But anyway, we switch back to the Teams call, test some of the troubleshooting steps. I ask her who her ISP is, and she says it's a small local provider, so that's at least worth noting, because, she says they're pretty good about dispatching technicians pretty quick, so that's nice. Some small local providers at least do that. So I started putting together some information that we could give to her service provider. Um, as I'm talking, the Teams call dropped, so we switch back to the phone call. I ask her what is the name of the fiber provider, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's Verizon Fios." That didn't sound right to me. If the user has Fios, that shouldn't be DSL. They should have a fiber connection, either directly to the router or to a nearby node with a coax connection, like a lot of quote-unquote 100% fiber providers do. They run coax to your house, and they're like, well, it's a 100% fiber backbone. That's what we mean by a 100% fiber network, which is not how percentages work. Like, 100% of the fiber part of our network is fiber. Like, what? You can't just rule out everything that isn't a specific thing and call it 100%. That doesn't know how that works. It's like if I had... That's like if I say, this drink is 100% alcohol by volume. If you only consider the part of it that's alcohol, just ignore the, rest of the drink. Like, anyway, like, all alcohol in this drink is 100% alcohol. I don't know, but after we talked over the phone, we talked about Fios, which once again doesn't seem like a small local provider, but that's okay. But we talked about it. I wanted to determine what her network actually was, whether it was DSL or something else. So I had her go to her modem, tell me what the cable going into it looks like. She said it was a thick cable that's screwed in, so that's coax, or coaxial, like the thing that your TV uses to connect a cable. So, that means that she probably wasn't using DSL, because if it was DSL, it'd come in on a phone line. So, great. Important information. I continue troubleshooting steps. And, I'm swapping back and forth between the Teams call and the phone. And, as I'm troubleshooting, she mentions she's having an issue signing into a specific site. Now, I made the mistake of asking her to go on or tell me more, which means, oh yay, side quests. But, you know, I'm thinking she's probably entering the credentials wrong or something. So I asked her to show me what happens when she tries to sign in, and she says it just gives her this error. But when I look at the screen, I see the sign-in page for a completely different website. So she's probably she's probably entering her credentials on the wrong site. It happens, she thinks she's signing into one system, but she's actually signing into another. So, yeah, I explained that to her, and, I sent her the link to the correct site, which should fix the issue, but that's, yeah, kind of side quest thing, so I tried to get back to the main point. And, I wrap up my troubleshooting attempts for the network, considering it's pretty much definitely an issue with her ISP. And, I try to explain to her everything I tried, what we observed, and how she can explain the issue to the ISP to fix it. And finally, before I hung up, I asked if there was anything else I could help her with, as you're supposed to do. A question that we always ask and never want to hear, never want to know the answer to, because then you find yourself, then a 15-minute ticket turns into a 3-hour ticket. But, I ask, hey, is there anything else I can help with? And she's like, yeah, I still need help signing into the site. But the other site's still on the screen. I'm like, well, no, that's the wrong site. See, the site you want to go to is this site. So I pull it up on the screen. And she's like, okay, but I just get this error message. And I don't see the error message. But she's like, it's right on screen. So I think to myself, okay, it's not on screen. Am I on the wrong computer? There's no way it could be that, though, because, I'm watching the lady answer my Teams calls. So, I know that I'm calling this person on Teams. So I'm like, hey, here, look, can you see me moving my mouse around? So I move the mouse, and she's like, yeah, go ahead and move it around. I was moving it around. Don't you see that? There's no way. And, she doesn't see it. I'm like, ma'am, quick question. You've been getting my Teams calls, right? And she's like, no. The last Teams call I was on was early this morning. So, okay, ma'am, sorry, I have a strange question. Could you spell your first and last name for me? And she's like, oh, okay. SHELBYKEPLER. Shelby Kepler. There's another Shelby K at this workplace who just didn't show up in the search. So I realize what's happened now. I've been working with two people at once. I'm trying to remain professional while I'm about to freaking crash out. So somehow this company has two Shelby Ks who both happen to be having the same issues with their Microsoft Teams calls dropping at the same time, and I had been working with both of them without realizing it. So I start trying to explain that I just realized what happened over the phone with Shelby Kepler, but our call drops because I don't know. She's like, hey, I'm breaking up. I can't hear you. So call dropped. So I quickly hopped into Teams, created a group chat with both Shelbys, and I just started off by saying, I'm just like, hey, everyone, I'd like to apologize for the past 40 minutes of confusion. I explained what happened, and Shelby Kepler's like, okay, so does this mean we have to start troubleshooting over again? And I'm when she says that, I'm just like, I'm dead inside at this point. Like I was split between wanting to isekai myself and wanting to laugh just because of how unrealistic, how unlikely this situation was. It's like you can't, you can't make this shit up. Like I kid you not, me and these two random poor users were gaslighting ourselves for the past 40 minutes. And she's like, "Oh, so do we need to start the troubleshooting over?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm sorry. I need a bit of time before I can do any more troubleshooting. Uh, I need to unfrazzle myself." So we break for lunch, and she was taking a half day, so we're gonna end up dealing with that ticket, or I'm gonna end up dealing with that ticket tomorrow. Wish me luck. But like the part that was the craziest for me is the fact that I've been having this conversation, across both calls. Like I'd be talking about something on the phone call, then swap over to Teams, and she'd just pick up the conversation as if, right where we left off. Yet it was just a completely different person who just apparently, when she got called out of nowhere, she just sees that as normal and answered the question and just started talking as if she was already in a conversation with me. And then when I switched back over the phone, Shelby Kepler just started responding to me, despite the fact that, didn't comment on the fact that I said I was going to call her on Teams, and Teams didn't ring, or the fact that I had been silent over the phone for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, okay, so yeah, anyway, as I was saying, and, she just picks up like nothing happened. And I guess partially, people want to pretend that they know what you're talking about, to not seem stupid, but like, gosh dang, that really, really, really did not work out for us here. So I'm literally sitting there like about to call my manager and just call out sick, because like I'm at my desk like banging my head on my desk after this because it's like I don't know how to describe the strange pained noises it had me making. Uh, some confused, frustrated laughter because like that sucked. That was a 40-minute network troubleshooting call. No one likes those. They can often get way, way, way longer, but like no one likes network troubleshooting calls. This was a pain. Trying to communicate with people, being confused, frustrating. So I'm really pissed off at this situation, but at the same time, just because of the fact that, like, how the fuck do you find yourself troubleshooting with two different people at once and not notice it? It was a mix between pissed and hilarious. So, yeah, after that, I just tried to avoid any tickets that would require me to actually phone call the user, um, because I did not want to talk to anyone else, or any more end users that day, at least not over the phone, because I was completely freaking dead on the inside. And yeah, that's how I got through the rest of the day. No, like, I kid you not. Well, yeah, because I looked up the Shelby K in our directory and only one person came up. So I'm like, okay, that's got to be the only one available because we have all of the employees at their company. But apparently, for some reason, this other Shelby hadn't shown up in the directory, or they weren't indexed in the search, so they just didn't show up. Like, I could find them in the directory if I look up their account directly, but not if I'm using, their email alias. And it's just, yeah. It's like, once again, with the whole, I don't see the harm in being a dog. I think it's a whole lot less harmful or problematic than spending 40 minutes gaslighting yourself with two other random people. IT sucks sometimes. like, oh yeah, in my workplace everything is constantly broken, and it's like, I know how that feels. It's like, oh yeah, where do you work? I work in IT. Broken things, broken computer equipment is literally my entire life. But as much as I crap about the job, I do enjoy it. I find being able to move information around and stuff like that is just, I've told you this before. I just find it interesting and like fascinating. But yeah, that was my day. Um, how about yours? Hmm. Well, it would help if. Hmm, is that the spot? I was gonna say it would help if you were doing English right now, and I think you're pretty thoroughly dog, so I won't force you to speak. I mean, sorry, phrasing. That pause didn't mean to pause there. Um, yeah. Uh, but that was a very cute bark. Um, yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. I forgot. But yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing that happened. Uh, yeah. I need to get one of those. If we ever go on like a road trip together, I need to get one of those. Please don't break my car window. Um, the AC is running and their favorite music is playing, or something like that. I don't know. I'm just teasing. Oh, here's a funny story. The other day I was working from home and I was covering, on a call with an end user. And as I'm on the phone with him, right, I look behind me and there's a squirrel climbing the screen on my window to get to my suet feeder and scare away my birds and like steal the suet. So like there's a heist going on behind me and I'm trying to like deal with a service ticket. So I like just like, yes ma'am, and can you try turning it off and on again? And then I like reach over and I just toss the slipper across the room at the window trying to scare away the squirrel. Oh, yes ma'am. Okay. Now just hold the button for like 5 seconds. Throws another shoe. So now I gotta keep a Nerf gun by me to shoot the window with to scare the squirrel away anytime it comes and tries to raid my suet feeder. Because like I leave seeds on the ground for the squirrels so that they don't attack the feeder, but apparently I did not make a sufficient offering this latest time, so alas. But yeah. Anyway, you look like you're getting sleepy. Such a good sleepy dog. But I imagine being a dog could not be me. Oh, wait. Ah, heck.